Oh my. Welcome to Mirror Domains Movie News, your place for entertainment headlines. And indeed, this is a live news show for movie fans where we talk about all the trending movie news headlines of the day, entertainment news, celebrity news. This is a movie news channel, so we talk about this kind of stuff. Like, what's the early buzz on Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse 2? Transformers Beasts, we got some early reviews in as well. Flash and Elemental comes out next month. The Little Mermaid has officially arrived, guys. It's opening weekend for The Little Mermaid, and are you going to go out and see it? I saw it yesterday, so I'll do my formal review for that today. We know the runtime for the new Mission Impossible movie. We know James Cameron's going to be writing a Terminator movie. That's kind of got me kind of going like, ugh, I don't know about that. But we start off today's show by talking about that Thunderbolts movie, and it's being halted. Why? Because of the writer's strike. Marvel delays Thunderbolts filming amid writer's strike, and that's pretty expected, I would say, that this was going to happen. The feature was going to star Sebastian Stan and Florence Pugh, was aiming to shoot next month in Atlanta. The Thunderbolts movie is kind of like the MCU's version of the Suicide Squad. It was going to have like a bunch of bad guys in there, and they were going to have to go on some mission. Although, was Florence Pugh really the bad guy? I don't know. We know that Bucky is a hero to some people, but to me he's a villain because he killed Tony Stark. But that wasn't him, James! I don't care about those arguments. He still needs to serve justice. Oh, thumbs down immediately. You don't understand, Bucky. You don't understand that he was brainwashed. Well, that's an old argument. Because obviously I was team Iron Man. So anyway, this getting delayed, I think it getting pushed is the right approach, because we talked about Deadpool 3 yesterday, starting production, and how for a movie like that you forego the ability to do improvisation on the set. You can't improvise the lines. You got to stick to the script that's written, because if you write or improvise on it, then you're technically writing stuff, and due to the rules of the strike, that's forbidden. So I like sets where you are able to work with the actors. You're allowed to block stuff in. If it doesn't work the first time, like if words may look okay on the page, but once you try to say them, no matter how good of an actor you are, they just sound bad. So it's like, I like to workshop with the scene. Hey, if it works from the page, fine. But if we got to tool around with it, we got to tinker with it, then that's fine. And you kind of forgoing that part of the process. That's very much of the artistic process of filmmaking, is that tooling around, is that, let's workshop this scene a little bit and, just get into the character, flow with it. And if those words don't come out of your mouth as a character, then we change it, right? But just another casualty of the writer's strike that hopefully will get underway to some kind of resolution soon, because people said August, and like the naysayers, like the doomsday people out there, are saying sometime next year. That it can't go that long. I hope before August that it gets solved, so that these productions can get underway again. And Thunderbolts pause due to the writer's strike. And it's going to affect a lot of these ones, especially when we get down to the James Cameron headline there about him writing a new script. What is James Cameron? He can do whatever the heck he wants, right? Yeah, I'm just got to take these things with a measured response, I suppose. Spider-Man Across the Spiderverse. First reactions. This movie opens up next week, guys. Across the Spiderverse 2. Reactions say it surpasses the first. So Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is garnering wide spread acclaim. So we got some initial reactions out here. Let's take a look at some of these initial reactions for Across the Spider-Verse. It defies its high expectations to spin a visually stunning next chapter that swings and soars. That's a comforting, resonating coming-of-age story that pairs well with the eye-popping animation, music, darkness, and meta humor. Absolutely phenomenal. Now, guys, I'm on the short end. Like, I'm on the very absolute minority where I don't like that kind of style of animation. I hope it's smooth like Puss in Boots was. If it was smooth like Puss in Boots, then I can handle it. The missing frame bit where it's like choppy, like the new TMNT stuff, I can't. My eyes just don't. I hate it. I don't like it. It doesn't compute up here for me. But that's the new style. We saw that very much in the first one, right? That's just, I'm in the minority. Don't pay attention to me when it comes to this criticism about the animation. It's the story, James. You always talk about the story. Yes, it's the story comes first. So, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse raised the bar with its unique animation style and the way of storytelling. Minds were blown when it was released, and fans thought that there was no way it could be topped. Think again. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse raises its own bar, which seemed impossible. So people are digging it, man. Okay, Across the Spider-Verse lives one step above masterpiece. Well, that's quite the boast. That is a masterpiece. It's an actual work of art. Every frame deserves to be hung in a museum. The jokes and nods to Spidey lore are perfect. It's outstanding. So I'll be taking my niece to see this next week, but I suppose it's not gonna be priority for me next week, guys, because the Boogeyman also opens up against it, and of course you know that I am a genre fan. I am a horror fan first and foremost. So I'll be seeing the Boogeyman on Thursday, not Spider-Man. Across the Spider-Verse. But James, how could you profess to be a Spider-Man fan? Well, guys, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to go see it. I'm going to go see it probably on Saturday, not this Saturday, but next one. It's debuted with a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. Has it? Okay. Wow. Maybe we should just pull up the Rotten Tomatoes, James, and see if it's up there. That would have been a good thing to pull first, as you are talking about early buzz for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And let's see if it's hidden in here somewhere. And I do not see it. So we will say Across the Spider. And pull it up. Yeah, it's not up there. What the heck are you guys talking about? I'm not seeing a score here. Because I'm pretty sure the embargo is still up. Maybe that's the older one that they were talking about, the first one. Yeah. I'm not seeing a rating for it. But people are hyped. People are excited for this. This is the kind of movie that's going to be immune to criticism. Somebody can come out and say, well, the story didn't work like this, and it had some pacing issues, and the people just won't care. It's one of those movies, right? We just had one of those with like Fast 10, where they don't care about the acting quality or anything like that. This is going to be one of those ones where it's kind of like, I love this movie even before I've seen it, kind of thing. There you go. If that's your bag, then have at it. But I prefer to go into things with an open mind and giving things a fair shake. Anyway, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is not surprisingly terrific. It's a bigger story spread out over the movie and next, but it's still about Miles wanting to be accepted for who he is. I laughed out loud like 8 times. So the comedy's there. Good. That's what you want to hear for the follow-up for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, or this one's called Across the Spider-Verse. This one's going to be like part 1 of this next chapter, right? Because next year, part 2 comes out. Because this was originally in 2 parts, right? Across the Spider-Verse, first reactions are out, and they're, reasonably good. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. Next up, let's talk about early buzz for the Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Yeah, that movie comes out a week after the Spider-Man movie. So Transformers Rise of the Beast reactions say that there's still plenty of sparks left in the franchise. Good, because this is the one that I'm really excited for, because it's got Unicron. Then it's got the Optimus Primal and the Beast people in it. RC is going to be in it. So we got some early reactions. Just saw Transformers Rise of the Beasts, and it's a total blast. There are lots of references to the Transformers universe that will wow fans. Anthony Ramos is amazing as Noah, and the team is great as always, but the real standout is Pete Davidson as Mirage. Really? Pete Davidson? Getting some love. Huh. Transformers Rise of the Beast is action-packed, insanely cool with lots of surprises. More love for Anthony Ramos there. are great. Love the soundtrack. Okay, good. The soundtrack. Yeah, fans will go crazy with this film. It will be a summer hit. I hope so, because the early tracking for it, uh, the tracking numbers for it is a little bit under expectations. Um, okay, Transformers: Rise of the Beast is really fun. It's actually quite funny, and the action is strong. I did find my eyes glazing over when they talk about this movie's special object. What the I'm guessing is probably the Autobot matrix of leadership, probably. The series sure loves those, but the way the Bay movies, if not quite Bumblebee level. If not quite Bumblebee level. Well, that's fine, as long as it's not Bay movie. I think the fans of, in the North American audience, that's pretty much said, we're done with the Bay formers. Because if you guys don't remember, the box office, what was really happening with Fast and Furious movies right now too is that the domestic numbers for the Transformers movies was going down because people just caught on to it with the Bayverse and the crass, just kind of trying to wow people with the flashy lights and stuff like that, and not having really any kind of substance to the stories. People in the domestic box office here in North America were kind of like, yeah, I've seen this before. And you can see it happening with the Fast and Furious movies now, where the domestic haul is going down. But the international markets still love Bayverse. They still love, or, the Michael Bayverse Transformers, because the international box office was bigger. But hopefully, and then for some reason they didn't like Bumblebee as much, which is by far the best Transformers movies out there. And to see that the early buzz for Rise of the Beast is saying that it's not quite as Bumblebee, but it's still good. It's better than the Bayverse, then I'm on board with that. Stephen Keeble Jr.'s ability to to also balance the fun with a human story that is actually emotional and interesting proves we need more talented POC storytellers behind big budget blockbusters. Well, yeah, that too. A lot of the Bayformer stuff they didn't have that emotional center because he was just going for that big amusement ride kind of feel to the movie, which sadly doesn't have a whole lot of backbone. That's the lacking of substance, right, that I earlier referred to. So good. Just saw a screening of Transformers: Rise of the Beast in New York and had a blast. Gave me everything I love about Generation 1. Yeah, cool. Beast Wars. Yeah, 90s hip-hop and Brooklyn all rolled into one summer fun movie. And then this is another movie that we just talked about, Spider-Man. Rise of the Beast is going to be one that is going to be immune to criticisms, because it's just going to be like, this is going to be like 50% maybe by critics, but like 85, 90 by the audience. And it's going to be immune to the pacing in the beginning was kind of, it's good. People aren't going to be wanting to hear that kind of BS about the reviews for Transformers: Rise of the Beast. I hope the tracking comes around on this. I hope that tracking comes out. This good word of mouth will help launch it into a higher success. Because, yeah, you still are going to get some of the Bayverse fans, but then you're also going to get people who like the Bumblebee movie out. Especially now that you hear people saying that it pays respects to Generation 1 and Beast Wars. Plus, you're going to get Beast Wars fans. And if it's just a fun ride, man, that's what you need when you come out of the Transformers movie. You just come out, and if, like I did from Fast and Furious, if I said that it's just fun, hopefully that will be contagious enough for people to say, okay, I want to go out and see the new Transformers movie. That's all I'm trying to convey here. Okay, guys, just a quick break here. If you didn't know, we do a movie news show Monday, Wednesday, and Friday here, 11 a.m. Sometimes during the week we will as well. I'm going to have to be adjusting my schedule, not next week, but the week after that, I'm going to have to adjust the schedule, and we'll be floating around kind of stuff. But we'll still be doing stuff daily. It may have to drastically transform, though. We may be moving live shows to only on the weekends. We may be doing that. But there are all my other social media handles where I publish all those shorts and stuff like that. So if I'll still be publishing content on a daily basis. It'll just be the live shows may get pushed. And I'll be looking for I'll still do movie news topics, but they'll be in the shorter forms. We'll see. I'll have time for it. It's just kind of like, um, I need a computer upgrade badly, and I don't want to uh, get like a hand-me-down uh, computer that was like out like 7 years ago, kind of thing, right? I want a newer one. I want to make sure that it's going to have some staying power. So we're looking at 2 to 3 grand because I want to make sure that I got a graphics card that can do 4K. So we'll be streaming in I don't know if we'll be streaming in 4K on YouTube, but we'll be streaming at least in 1080p for sure. Enough of this 720 stuff. And then I'll be able to pull the picture back, and my face won't be so close. That kind of stuff, right? Like that was one of the trade-offs that I had to do for the 720 stuff. I was like, the picture doesn't look as crisp. Well, it would be if I move my face a little bit closer to the camera, but when I get the higher end graphics card, it'll be able to process it a lot better, and I'll be able to zoom out a little bit, and it'll look much better. That'll be it along the way. We'll see. I don't know. Let's continue on. Talking about Flash that comes out next month too. Oh wow, guys! May, I was looking at the movies that came out in May here, and I only saw 5 on my list. Like, there really hasn't been that much. Guardians of the Galaxy, The Mother, Fast 10. We just saw The Little Mermaid. That's 4 right there. There was another one that I saw. What was it? But that's kind of like, really? I didn't really see that much here in May. May's been a slow month. I guess I will try to go out to see Blackberry before the end of the month here, so I can add it to my repertoire. But other than that, May's been slow. So June is going to be big. June will be big, and the book club next chapter is the one that I saw. The other one. So my list. My best and worst list of May is going to be fairly easy to do. Let's get into the Flash and Elemental here talking, because they come out next month, right? Flash, which is going to be big, and I think Flash has the potential to make $1 billion. The Flash and Pixar's Elemental will encounter box office headwinds, so they are going to be opening up on the same day, on June 16th. Wow, guys! I saw the trailer for Elemental again on Little Mermaid. I don't know what Pixar's got to stop with this abstract storytelling kind of stuff. Oh, fire and water fall in love with each other, but they're so different that I don't know. There's just something about it that's trite. I'm an adult. These movies are not meant for adults, guys. This is why I don't go out and watch a lot of kids' movies. Little Mermaid was, just one of those things where I tracked the production of it, and I liked what I saw vocally from Halle Bailey, so that's why I wanted to go see that movie. I'm not going to go see Elemental, and I wouldn't have gone to see Spider-Man if my niece didn't want to go see it. So it's kind of like the Flash is going to trounce it. The Flash is opening to a soft 70 million, and I think it may get even more, guys, but I'm not sure. Elemental is only 40 million, but Pixar's got it just didn't wow. It was just kind of like, wow. But Flash will. Flash, you hear great things. You hear the great cameos that are in it. You hear that it's going to be a solid ending to the Spiderverse, and a good tee up for what the new James Gunn universe is going to be. So it'll be the final closing chapter for a lot of characters from the Spiderverse. That I think a lot of us who are Snyder fans, I mean, the Snyder cut of Justice League is the only way you can watch the Snyder cut, in my opinion. Because once you watch the Snyder cut, you're just kind of like, what the heck were they smoking when they came up with the Joss Whedon cut, the theatrical cut? It was just, like all that stuff with the family in the one house gets all cut out, and it's like, thank God. Anyway, these two are going to face off together June 16th. So yeah, June is packed, man. June is going to be packed. We start off with Spiderverse, and then we got Transformers, and then we got Flash, and then at the end, don't we have, what's at the end of June? We got another big one. It's not Indy 5, is it? But yeah, big month. So we'll have a big month, and I'm looking forward to reviewing these movies when they come out, for sure. Flash is going to bury Elemental, because movies just, I don't know, they're just lacking something, and I can't quantify it right yet. Okay, let me get set up for my review for Little Mermaid. This will be cut out and put up on the channel later. Just want to make sure that I got everything rolling here. Oh man, that's good coffee. All right. Actually, I think I'm supposed to stop drinking so much warm stuff because it's not good for the vocals while I'm doing a live show. Because it tires out my voice. It relaxes it too much. Bummer. All right. I think I got all the materials that I want here. Maybe I'm going to pull up the trailer for The Little Mermaid, and we'll just take a look at some of the screenshots while we get through it. The final trailer. Of course, it's somebody pirated the... just go to the studio channel, James. Disney. Sorry, guys. No, that's Disney Plus's channel. Shook. Sorry. Way to completely stall the show here, James. Oh, wow. Yeah, of course you got clips. Tons of clips. Official trailer. There we go. All right. Let's get into it. Let's do it. The Little Mermaid is out in theaters now this weekend, guys, and I went out to see it. My initial impressions were, oh, wow, I like this movie. Now, I said at the time in my initial reaction that this was the best live-action adaptation from a cartoon that Disney has done. And I think I got to stand by that. Because there was multiple times in this where I was kind of like, I'm really liking this. Wow. I'm really enjoying this. And Halle Bailey has a lot to do with that. She plays Ariel in this, and I watch her innocence of the character kind of like evolve, and it's you just like locked in to what she's doing on the big screen. Now, the movie comes in at 2 hours and 15 minutes. It's a touch long. Guys, I take this from the perspective that I never saw the cartoon version. So I don't know what has been added to the story or what has been taken out. Okay? So know that about my review as we go in. The synopsis here on IMDb reads, a young mermaid takes a deal with a sea witch to trade her beautiful voice for human legs so she can discover the world above water and impress a prince. Yeah, it makes me kind of want to go back and watch the original, but Halle Bailey in this is a huge standout. Melissa McCarthy is Ursula. Her cackle, her laugh in this is really impressive. When she does her big evil laugh, it's probably the best evil laugh I've heard. Like the next best one, or comparatively, would be Agatha from WandaVision. You remember when she says and I killed Sparky too, and she does that evil laugh. Very comparison to, like, that kind of like wow kind of from Melissa McCarthy. She owns this role, man. She was born to play Ursula. You could tell she had fun with it, but then she also has that menace to her. Very impressive. She had a singing part where that was one of the moments where I had a grin on my face, just going, wow. Melissa McCarthy. This is easily my favorite Melissa McCarthy movie. Jonah Howard-King as Prince Eric. Meh, he's serviceable. Javier Bardem as the King Triton. Yeah, they do play the father-daughter storyline in this. And Javier Bardem, he has got a really, really cool ending part of this where, he comes to terms with what Ariel wants, and the emotion in his face, where he's just kind of like, yeah, God, I'm so glad that they hired him for it. One of my criticisms right up off the bat, though, guys, is a little bit of the CGI in the beginning does take a little bit of getting used to, like the floating around underwater and stuff, because it's not like Avatar where they actually floated underwater for like hours on end trying to get perfect shots. It took a little bit of getting used to, but as I said, you're with Halle Bailey most of the time, and it works. For me, you got to see it on the big screen, though. Man, when you see it on the big screen and it's all the colors and stuff, if you're worried about it being too dark and too drab, don't worry about that. There's going to be people out there, there's going to be the outrage culture that'll be circling the bandwagon saying that, oh, that's a bird that can't breathe underwater for that long. Oh, that's Sebastian's a crab that can't talk like that, or Sebastian can't breathe underwater as well. There's going to be a bunch of like moronic videos posted out there and stuff, but don't get on it, because Halle Bailey was awesome. She truly was. I was just, when she does her first big song, part of that world or whatever, there's a part right before she sings that part where she really opens up, and you're just like, wow. At least that's the way I was in the theater. I was like, wow, she is very impressive. And Halle Bailey is somebody that I want to take a look at in the future and just watch her career, man. She's got a bright future ahead of her, and she's one of the reasons why I want to go back and watch this movie again. I said that Daveed Diggs as Sebastian did a fantastic job in this. He's another highlight of this movie too. When he does the song Under the Sea, Daveed Diggs, if you don't know who he is, he did that show Snowpiercer. And you're going to fall in love with Sebastian in this. There's a big article up on Variety right now where he talks about his character and getting into character and trying to do different things with it and stuff like that. You're going to love this little crab. You will. And a lot of that has to do with his voice, how he's able to command his voice. And he works well with Aquafina, who plays the bird. I think it's Jacob Tremblay that plays the fish. Jacob Tremblay plays Flounder. But, Daveed Diggs and Melissa McCarthy, Javier Bardem, standouts. Great supporting cast for Halle Bailey. And this is going to really put her on the map for a lot of people. As I said, Jonah Howard-King was kind of serviceable. He's the token stud. I've said that countless times. The typical kind of guy that falls in love with the Disney princess. He worked. He had one solo number that was kind of like, whatever. It's over fast enough that, he did, you believe the chemistry between him and Ariel, at least, right? So, knowing that I haven't seen the cartoon version that comes in at an hour and a half, that they've added 45 minutes of extra story in this, I can't tell you what they have added and if it works or not. Now, in context of this story, Could you have tightened some of the stuff in the beginning? Yes, for sure. And I don't know how that's going to play out on a repeat viewing, but I do want to watch this movie again. Because in the first act of a movie, you do a lot of stuff establishing characters, establishing the sets and the mood and stuff, kind of like. I'm guessing that's where a lot of the stuff got added in. Could we have foregone some of that stuff? Maybe. And I hope that stuff with the prince, Jonah Howard King, he's got a side character, Sir Grimsby, played by Art Malik, and he's also a real standout too. The supporting cast in this is phenomenal. He's kind of like he's like the captain, or he plays like a castleman that like works with the queen and stuff like that. But he does also a very, very good job in this. There's a scene in here where he's just talking to him about looking at what's in front of you instead of in the future, or what could be and stuff. And I saw that scene and I was like, wow, that guy's worth checking out. And it's the culmination of those little things that permeate throughout this entire movie that makes it, as a collective whole, for me to say, thumbs up, man. You got to check this out. Yeah, there's going to be people nitpicking the small stuff. Oh, the CGI they shouldn't even try this stuff. But it's kind of like, it's only a small part of it. Once they get up on land and stuff like that, and then, as I said, when the payoffs come around, I dug it, man. It was a little crammed towards the end with Ursula, a touch, but again, as I said, you forgive it because Melissa McCarthy and the way that she portrayed it. So what are people saying about this movie? Let's go over the tomato meter as 11:30 a.m. on Friday morning. This movie just opened up today, guys, so this is before everybody goes out and sees it. 68% by critics, 95% by the audience, and this is going to be one of those movies where it's going to be immune to a certain level of criticism. The critics, I'm just going to refresh it here. The critics are going to be a little bit harder on it, and as I said about the pacing and stuff like that, I would imagine. But the audience, I hope they come out of the theater like me with a big smile on my face going, wow, I like The Little Mermaid. Unbelievable! Okay, so let's go over and take a look at some of the snapshot reviews and see what the critics were saying. See if we agree with them. ABC News did like it. Said, while it can't match the effortless charm of the 1989 film, this overstuffed live-action echo fills the title role with shining new star Halle Bailey, who gives the musical just the oomph it needs, a heart that sings, and spirit that soars. Well, that's a weird. Again, as I said, this is also going to be this is part of the audience that a lot of people who saw the original animated movie are going to be comparing it. I'm somebody who can't, right? Let's take a look at the Huffington Post, who didn't like it. Yes, to have a black princess in a major Hollywood film is sadly forward thinking in 2023, but there is nothing innovative or reformist about what happens in this movie. It doesn't have to be, man. You don't change the story of it just to accommodate some kind of social narrative. Again, there's going to be people like that coming at this movie as well, guys. So this is why hopefully you see my reviews and you're kind of like, well, at least I'm looking at it with this perspective. I'm able to pull back and look at it all and say, okay, guys, I'm going to try to give you something a little bit balanced here, right? I acknowledge that there's that little bit of adjustment to the CGI in the beginning. I acknowledge that there's a little bit crammed towards the end there. I acknowledge that stuff, but I still came out and said that the culmination of all the good stuff in it will override that. Boston Globe says, for the most part, I had a good time at The Little Mermaid. The film is buoyed by its actors and some of the visuals. And Awkwafina and Sebastian, they had great chemistry. It worked, man. You'd be like, well, how can this little crab win me over? It doesn't have any emotions. Sebastian doesn't suffer from the same thing as the live action Lion King did, where it was like, yeah, they're cats, they can't show the emotions. A lot of that has to do with David Diggs and his ability to work his voice. He's just so charming, and it's like, I want to watch it again, man. I really do. I'm giving this a lot of praise. Perhaps I'm overselling it. I'm not going to when I give my score for it, though. You'll see that a bit. Well, but you talk so well of it. Well, we'll get to that part. The New Yorker says it adds hints of a complicated world beyond the narrow realms of fantasy. It delivers earnest cheer. Yeah, it does. Yeah, there's moments in this where you'd be just like, that's impressive. That's impressive. Halle Bailey's performance keeps the film from drowning, but it still flounders quite a bit, and that's a positive review. That's a positive review. Wow. Yeah. The marketing campaign for this was terrible too. I mean, look at this character poster. This is awful. This is not what you should be doing, guys. You need that colorful stuff, and you should really be highlighting Ursula. You really should. Don't be. They started off hiding her, and you shouldn't, man, because Melissa McCarthy knocks it out of the park. She does. Okay, so I think that's pretty much all I've got to say about the film. Little Mermaid. Totally worth seeing. What do I rank it? Not as high as the audience, 95%. It's not a 9.5 film. But it's not quite as low as a 6.8, guys. For me, I had fun with this. I really did. I would give The Little Mermaid an 8 out of 10. Wow. Yes. I had that much fun with it. It does make me want to go back and watch the animated one and see what the differences were. It does. But I would be watching that, being aware that it was made in a different time. It was made years ago in a different culture, mindset, frame. Javier Bardem, too, at the end of this, guys. He shows his weight. He shows his weight as an actor. And I like that dynamic, that father-son, or the father-daughter dynamic there. It was cool. I dug it. All right, guys, that's it for me. What did you think about this? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. Hit that thumbs up button. You're watching Mirror Domains. All right. What was that moment at the end? Since we don't have any live comments today, this quick spoiler stuff. Basically, if you know the original story, he says goodbye to her at the end, and right, and his emotions. He doesn't. You just see it in his eyes, right? And that's the power of Javier Bardem. He says something like, "Well, the only part left to deal with is that I'm going to miss her." And he the way he says it, it's just wow, and it's filled with multiple parts like that. It'll just make you go, wow, cool. And I hope it does well at the box office. It was tracking for over 100 million, and it's a long weekend in the States, so take the kids to this one, man. This is just a fun ride. Yeah, I hope it does well, and it should, because opening up this weekend, it's got some competition out there, but let's just pull up what's opening up this weekend. About My Father is a comedy, kind of like a raunchy comedy. Gode Chua is a Punjabi movie. The Machine, oh yeah, that's one where this that's a comedy, another raunchy comedy. Mission Kandahar, does that open up this week? Yeah, it does. Where was that last week? Gerard Butler, but I don't hear very good things about it. That one's going to fly under the radar. That one's going to come and go. Fast X, of course, it's going to have its second week, and it's going to be in second place. Fast 10 will be in second place. Blackberry's still playing in limited release numbers. The Kerala story, Hindi movie. Book Club is still out there. Guardians is still playing. Super Mario is still playing. But yeah, I do have to recommend seeing The Little Mermaid. It's it's totally worth seeing. It's just to see what's playing at my theater and see it with a good sound too. I saw it in the AVX theater. I didn't see it in 3D, so maybe the underwater stuff will play better in the 3D. Oh, and then when Ursula's on screen, yeah, when she's doing her song, the colors, my God. And that's where the colors work well for using the darker color palette, because when it's Ursula, it's all these bright pastel colors contrasted with the darkness around her. And Melissa McCarthy, her laugh, she's perfect for it, guys. Perfect. Mission Kandahar, that's also opening. Oh, and then at the Art House Theater, The Master Gardener is opening. About my father. What the heck is that? I don't know. That's also opening up. So a lot of smaller movies that are going to get buried by the big blockbusters here are opening up. I want to see Master Gardener as well, but I might have to go out to the Art House Cinema to see that. And that's that movie with Joel Edgerton and Sigourney Weaver. That's a smaller film, but as I'm a cinephile, I love movies here. I'll go out and see everything, even Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Okay, guys, what do you guys think about the show so far? It is Friday, so I guess some people are off. People are away doing stuff, so my normal crowd of guys are not here today, so I'm flying solo. That's fine. All right, let's talk about Mission Impossible 7 and its runtime. Mission Impossible 7 Dead Reckoning Part 1 runtime sets franchise record. Uh-oh, don't tell me it's 3 hours. Please don't tell me it's 3 hours. According to Tom Cruise, the total running time is 2 hours and 36 minutes. Okay, well, that's reasonable. Yeah, it's being divided into 2 parts. The next part comes out next June. So 1 year away from the next part. Let's see if the IMDb page is updated. That, yep, 2 hours and 36 minutes. Guys, if you saw my trailer reaction for the last trailer, yep, did I do one for that one? I saw it anyway, and I really liked the last trailer. It got me hyped a lot, actually. I'm really looking forward to this one. I'm a Haley Atwell fan. Rebecca Ferguson. So 2 hours and 36 minutes, that's fine. Simon Pegg, that team. That team is they're so cool together. Yeah, Bing Rames. They just got great chemistry, right? And Rebecca Ferguson, I hope she makes it through. Haley Atwell, I'm infatuated with, so we won't go down that. But the action in this, is going to be that top tier that you got to see it on the big screen. 2 hours and 36 minutes. Yes, please. Because it's going to be real stunts, right? It's not going to be a CGI car driving down a CGI dam. Yeah, that was some shade, but I'm just using it as my punching bag, guys. I liked it. I liked that movie, Fast 10. All right, so this broke earlier in the week. We talked a little bit about it yesterday. James Cameron revealed that he started writing a new Terminator movie. Yeah, I remember after Dark Fate, the rights were going to go back to Cameron because he wrote the first ones, right? Because of the time frame, like 20 years after the first one or something like that. A certain amount of time had passed where the rights were going to revert back to him anyway. So he was going to have free reign to do whatever he wanted with it. That's why they had to crank out Genesis and Dark Fate in the time frame that they had, because they were running out of time to make movies like that before it reverted back to Cameron. But anyway, he's been toying around in his own free times, toiling around with a new script, and he was going to make it more focused in on the AI aspect of it, which is okay. So James Cameron just told Dell Tech World Crowd that he started writing a new Terminator movie 3 months ago, but wanted to see how AI currently shakes out before it goes any further. So he wants to see what AI does to us culturally here with the fake script writing and all that kind of stuff, and augmenting pictures of your face and stuff. Fine. I would trust Cameron's script. He never wrote Dark Fate or Genesis. He just endorsed them. I would trust Cameron going back to this and maybe making a Terminator 3 that would just pick up after the events of Terminator 2. Here's the thing, guys. And I said this about this story, these stories. They got to get away from the Terminators. What is called Terminator? Well, I mean like the actual machine, like the Arnold machine, the T-1000 or the T-101, right? They got to get away from that. Because, yeah, you can do another story of a robot coming back in time to kill somebody to stop the future war. But that's not the frightening, that's just one part of the frightening thing about Terminator. The other frightening thing is that for some reason, somehow, they developed the ability for time travel. And that just opens up a bevy of opportunities that you should be capitalizing on beyond the AI. Yeah, of course they're going to try to kill us. They're going to try to wipe us out. But there's something more sinister there that could be done. And get away from Judgment Day. Because if you got time travel, that's the weapon, not Judgment Day, right? Judgment Day will happen in different iterations in our future. It'll happen in different iterations. The time travel bit, expand on that. Go into the part where you just go into that sci-fi level where it's kind of like, well, if they got time travel, why didn't they just go back in time and wipe us out before we even started coming down out of the trees? And if they did, why did they allow us to happen? And was that whole war manufactured by them? Was Judgment Day manufactured by them? Like, see, you're opening it up. You're going beyond some of the scope of what the first film was all about, kind of thing, right? Terminators was just kind of like just a small part of what was actually happening with the time travel and the AI. I hope they go with that route. That's what I would like to see with this. If they go back to this and try to keep some of the continuity, otherwise you just got to reboot it. And then you would go back to Terminator where it's just a smaller confined story, which could work, but it's kind of like, again, it's a scenario that we've seen before. And that's what I believe bogged down Genesis and Dark Fate. It was just a retelling of the same story over and over again. Get beyond that, guys. Get beyond that scope. Get beyond Judgment Day that you're trying to stop the machines. Find out something drastic like, yes, they engineered us. They engineered us to build them so that they could eventually one day become masters, because they had to. Because that's just the way that time works, right? And that's the big reveal that, wow, we created something that went back in time to create us. Wow. Like that's horrific, right? There's something in there that could be done, but we'll have to see how that pans out. Ooh, I totally buried this story. I forgot to put this in the show notes. Oh well, we'll come back to it. That Barbie trailer that came out, guys, did you like it with Barbie coming into the real world and, just kind of like people like, existential crisis. They call it the main trailer, but we had the teaser for it and we had the first trailer for it. I just like the fact that they're going to use Aqua's Barbie Girl song in it. And this is going to be a summer movie that I'm really looking forward to. Oddly enough, I went to see Little Mermaid and I liked it. So hopefully when I go see this, it looks like it's a movie that knows what it's trying to be. It's not going to be one that's going to be like, oh, this is going to be delivering like some big Shakespearean kind of arc to it, where it's kind of like it's going to resonate throughout the annals of history. No, this is just kind of like a fun little romp, right? And you're with Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling, and the supporting cast looks great. And when they come out into the real world, it's kind of like, well, that's going to be very interesting. Because in the first trailer, we only saw them in the Barbie world, right? So, yeah, the nurse. But then at the end of it, you do hear a hint of the Barbie girl song, right? So that's the new trailer that dropped this week. I can use this as a little bit of a launch point that I think I'm going to start to stray away from the trailer reactions. People just don't watch them. It's oversaturated. Uh, Even when I do what I feel is my best reaction ever, it still gets minimal kind of meh, meh. But I'm still excited for the Barbie movie, for sure. For sure. Okay, guys, I got to wrap things up here in 10 minutes because at 1 o'clock today, we are watching Fubar Episode 2. That's that Arnold Schwarzenegger series on Netflix. We watched episode 1 yesterday, and today we'll watch episode 2. Whoopi Goldberg says American Idol was the beginning of the downfall of society. What? Once we gave people the ability to judge other people, I think we ran amok with it, and it's gone out of control. Well, sorry to break it to you, Whoopi. And maybe I'm getting this quote out of context, but people have been judging other people since the beginning of time. And remember in the book, in your good book there, that says, don't judge lest ye be judged themselves or something like that. So even 2,000 plus years ago, yeah, people judged. It's just maybe currently, right now, the social media definitely has ramped that up to the extreme. And we will see in past cultures where that, like the pinnacle of grandeur of stadium level entertainment, it little crumbles in on itself. People will get tired of it. It just won't be for a little while. It's just she kind of paints it as kind of like a dire thing, and it really seems to be pinpointed on American Idol. I don't know. Quote, I think that we as a society love to watch stuff to judge folks. Well, yeah, that. And we like to go into big stadiums and watch people fight with each other and stuff like that, coliseums, or play sports, right? I've always thought that the beginning of the downfall of society was with, what's the name of that show? American Idol. Well, no, that's not the beginning of. It's when more than, say, 10 of us decided we wanted to live collectively together and build like a town. That's when the downfall started, right? Once we gave people the ability to judge other people, I think we ran amok with it. It's gone out of control. They invited the public to decide who a person was, and I feel once we did that, it began us in a cycle that we have not yet escaped. Well, as I said, throughout history, we've gone through this cycle, right? It's just another iteration of it, but it's just enhanced because of the social media aspect. All right, guys, let's go into some hit or miss. This is really only 2 topics that I want to get to, and then we'll get to the Twitterverse, and then I got to round out the show because I got to make my breakfast and get ready for Fubar. Caddo Lake, M. Night Shyamalan produced thriller, gets PG-13 rating. So he produced this thriller starring Lauren Ambrose. Sorry, Lauren Ambrose. My bad. Jeez, James, you could have prepared this a little bit better. I know. Well, that's why I put it in hit or miss. He's only produced it, so I kind of look. Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Move on. Let's talk about the Mortal Kombat headline that I forgot to put in. Mortal Kombat 2, Adeline Rudolph to play Kitana in the new line bone-shattering sequel. Okay, so, yeah, this is what I want to see, guys. I said it countless times here on the channel. You have to bear with me. The Kitana Melina storyline is very much like the Gamora Nebula storyline from the MCU. They were both daughters of Shao Kahn, and they joust and fight with each other. And I wanted to see that dynamic. This actress, Adeline Rudolph, I don't know that much about, but looks like she could play the role. We just got casting for Jade the other week. What other stuff has she been in? Pull it up. Let's pull up her resume. Resident Evil. She was the older? She wasn't the older Billy Wesker? Oh, I did like that Resident Evil series on Netflix. I was like one of the other two people that actually liked it. Everybody else hated it. I thought she was actually pretty good in that, actually. Let me see if I can pull up a shot of her from it. Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, guys. Uh, right there. That's her. It's Katana. That's a great pick. Wow. I love it. I dig it, man. So that's from the Sabrina show. And then she's working with she's the one playing Jade. Tati Gabrielle, right? I think that's how you pronounce it. I want to see her from, show me something from Resident Evil. Of course it doesn't. Of course you don't. But she did good in it, man. She did good, and she's going to be in the new Mortal Kombat. Yeah. Ah, I remember her. She did good. She did good. I want to see more from her. Yeah. So she's going to be Katana. Great casting. That's good casting. I dig it, man. Mortal Kombat 2. We know that Carl Urban is going to be Johnny Cage. Here it says rumored. I don't understand that. Tati Gabrielle's Jade. Sonya Blade's going to be back, and Cole Young is going to be sadly back. Ugh. Adeline Rudolph is Katana. Yeah, good casting. Good casting. I dig that. All right, guys. I don't really have that much more to talk about today unless a big trailer drop. We'll take a look at the Twitterverse for about 3 minutes. Please tell me I am streaming. Yeah, no, I am streaming good. Imagine if I did this entire show again and I didn't press the live button. That would just make me so livid. All right. What's going on out there? Euphoria Season 3 ideally will be released in 2025. Okay. Zendaya. Gotta love Zendaya. Jonah Howard King. Quentin Tarantino. Questions. What even is a motion picture anymore? Not picking on anybody, but apparently for Netflix, Ryan Reynolds has a 50 million on this movie, 50 million on that movie, 50 million on the next movie. I don't know what any of those movies are. Never seen them. Have you? Yeah, I don't know if I would get lost in that semantics of it, Quentin. I know that he would like to debate and all. If it's not meant for the big screen, then it's not really cinema kind of conversations. But that's, yeah, I wouldn't go with that. I'd stay away from that kind of topic. I haven't ever talked to Ryan Reynolds' agent, but his agent is like, well, it costs 50 million. Oh, what, a movie? Again, it's about trying to convey a story or an emotion, a scenario, and that's all it is, man. Don't make it into anything more epic than it has to, than it's not, right? Succession finale. Wait, is Khan still going? My God, guys. Will Poulter. Yeah, we just saw him in Guardians of the Galaxy as Adam Warlock. He was good in that. He got ripped for that, right? And it's weird because he didn't really play any scene with his shirt off. But yeah, he looks ripped. A great actor. I want to see a lot more from Will Poulter. Jonah Howard King, Little Mermaid is now playing. Yep. Kirsten Stewart, talking about good people acting. I think that shirt is a little see-through, so I won't pull up the second shot there just in case. Gorgeous, obviously. Thunderbolts being delayed. Yeah, we talked about that. Barbie trailer released in theaters. Um, he plays a little bit like Barney Rubble, doesn't he? Uh, Ryan Gosling as Ken. You get Barney Rubble vibes from him, right? From the Flintstones. Dua Lipa music videos coming out. Asteroid City. Brandon Priya. It's going to be in Twisters. Succession. Jack Quaid to star in Companion. Whoops. Cool. Rings of Power Backlash. Mother. Okay. Guys, that's it for me today. 1 year from today, 1 year from now, Furiosa comes out. Cool, man. And with Anya Taylor-Joy. Now, that's one of my favorite actresses right there, right now. Totally mesmerizing. Loved her in Last Night in Soho. That's up on the channel right now, too, guys. We watched that movie. All right, that's it for me today, guys. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and I'll see you next time tomorrow for more Fubar. Yeah. So, in an hour, we're watching Fubar episode 2, and then tomorrow we'll watch 3 and yeah, so on. All right. Enjoy your weekend. Go see The Little Mermaid. It's a 3-day weekend there in the States. Happy holidays.